What's going on, guys? This is Dark here with another review, and this time we're going to be taking a look at the McFarlane Noble Team. So I know I'm plenty years late to the race, and if you take a look, there is going to be a couple of pieces that are missing from these figures, but they did just come out of storage, and I just figured I wanted to touch on a couple of different things. I've been customizing a few Halo figures, and I figured we might as well do a review on, I would say, the best of the line in my opinion, if not the original Halo 3 figures. But I found my Noble Team, and I figured I'd take a crack at it. So, of course, I guess we will start off with Noble 1, Mr. Carter. So, let's take the DMR. It's got the modified DMR. That they started clipping the front guard so you could actually put it into the hands of the figure. And this is the unhelmeted version. I don't know why I had such an obsession with the unhelmeted versions, but they did sometimes come a little loose. The only thing is, for me, the shoulder pads, I remember them being completely just flaccid all the time, so there's that. But I was going ahead and customizing a lot of figures with these pieces, and I didn't really notice how many pieces were taken, but it's all good. No more shoulder pad on the left, so I had just thrown on like a Mark 6 from Halo 3 if I'm not mistaken. Still got the UNSC emblem on the other side on there, and then we'll put pouch, and then the wrist gauntlet with the, I think it's like a GPS or something like that. But basically the reason that I decided to pull these ones out is to just go over a few reasons why you might want to pick up a Halo Reach figure for customizing in the future. I mean, of course, if you pick up a Halo figure, you're probably going to be picking up for Halo specifically, but I mean, I've used these little wrist pieces. This is removable. You'd be able to take this and throw it on a different figure, and then take a hobby knife to the actual clip and then glue it into place. These pouches here, you can just rip them from the chest plate. The knife, which I've actually used the handle on my soap, and just different things like that. We'll go over each of the different figures, and then of course just wanting Noble Team. I mean, Noble Team, you can't really go wrong there. So go ahead and throw Carter off back over here. You can chill without your gun, you're fine. Okay. And then we will go on to Cat. Like I said, I don't know why I liked the unhelmeted versions as much as I did. But I did pick up numerous Revel Mini Venom Snakes, so I decided I was going to be using another one of his radios, because it kind of looks like the transponder that they picked up in the first mission that you actually get down with Noble Team and you're running around. You find the Covenant on Reach. But the robot arm is phenomenal. Just, I remember this being something that I was trying to remove and take onto another figure with the original Cat that I had, but I did always like the Air Assault helmet. I could not tell you what happened to all of those old figures, but robot arm, little leg piece, the data pad, just different things that you may want to go ahead and pick up for any kind of robotic armed character, UNSC female character. That all works pretty well in my opinion. But I do remember that the swivel is down here, right here, so make sure not to break your figure's hands off. See if we can get that data pad back in her hand. Good enough for right now. I don't want to force it, but there's Cat. And then I believe Jun is Noble 3. I've got him in a wonky crouched position that I don't really want to take him out of because he looks good on the shelf and he's kind of hard to put back into place. The only thing that I would advise against is the knife arm. Knife arm looks a little wonky. Knife bends, super unattractive. But if you're looking for the shawl, I've seen people do some pretty awesome things across multiple Halo lines with the shawl. So if you want to make like a Halo 4 Linda is what I've seen done beautifully, mixed it with like a normal Mark 6 helmet. I think it was on Figure Realm when I've seen that. I shout out to the person. I will actually throw the link in the description if I start seeing that. Speaking of which, I'm going to start just adding more pictures to Instagram and things like that. So if you guys want to add me, check in the subscription. Or not in the description. But the bullet arm, woohoo, there he starts going. And then the backpack that hangs off of the whole thing. I've always really dug that because it actually does, not too crazily, but it does flap a little bit. I'm not going to bend it because it is plastic, so I don't want it to start breaking. Tattoos on his face. I figured maybe I might take the head off of this one and start using it for the McFarlane Call of Duty line. Like, I started customizing all kinds of different soldiers, but the heads are a little bit too small. So, same thing with the Pirate Assassin's Creed line. It was just, they just didn't look right. So, if you were wondering, let me see here. And then Emil, no, Emil is 5. No, George is 5. So Emil, I don't know what happened to his kukri and the arm plate, but they're gone. So I replaced it with this CQB, just a little gray one. I'm going to be painting that red, and then I got a kukri that came in from Marauder Gun Runners, and I will get that running again. And then when I was going through a storage box, I found a leg pack that I did not know where it came from. I am sad to say it came off of my Emil. I don't know why, but Jun's stayed in place, so it's another figure if you're looking for that leg pouch. Jun stayed in place, his did not. I found his in a box and I was like, I wonder where this came from. And stuck it on my Soap. But no issues there. Soap is my favorite Call of Duty character, so no hard feelings, Emil. It's alright, he still looks fresh. So but pretty much Emil, if you wanted to shave off the arm gauntlet, I wouldn't take apart an Emil, probably. I would just leave him as is. He's a pretty rare, pretty sick looking character, so if you picked up an Emil, I probably wouldn't tear him to shreds to start customizing, but I was a bit younger when I lost some of these pieces and put them into storage, so whole thing's starting to move. Sorry about that, guys. And why? You were the hardest one to stand up to. Oh, hey, looky there. And then George. This boy is big. So I really liked the fact that they made a height difference between the Spartan 3s and the Spartan 2s. If you can tell, George is like a tank compared to the rest of them, which is accurate. It's canonical. But it's okay. The only thing I would really use my boy here for, same thing with Emil, he's not really expensive, he's just not really too functional, I guess, would be the chain gun or the minigun, and maybe some of the armor plates to go on a different Halo figure. But his head is pretty large, but I didn't really see, I would have to resize the peg and things like that, and I don't have the tools necessary for me to do that right now, so I just kind of left him as is. I like him hanging with his extra head under there. I left the peg in, but for display purposes I rip out the peg, but I couldn't decide whether or not I wanted his normal helmet on or his head exposed, but because of the fact that I don't have the helmets for Carter and Cat, I figured I'd just leave that as is, and I think I used the Jun helmet for something else, so I can't remember, but of course It's a noble team. If you can get yourself a noble team at this point, or if you still have your noble team, I mean, you're. I mean, I'm shocked. That's well over 7-8 years, if not more, 10 years, and these figures were really hard to come by at the time. I mean, Jun was pretty relatively easy to get once he came up with the unhelmeted version, but Emil was sought after. The helmeted version of Carter was ridiculously hard to find. Emil is still like ridiculously pricey. All of these figures are ridiculously pricey now. But of course, like I said, the reasoning that I would really pick up a Halo Reach or McFarlane figure is, of course, for Halo. The large love that I have for Halo is one of the only reasons why I've even purchased my Xbox. If it wasn't for Gears of War and Halo, I wouldn't have an Xbox. I'm a PlayStation fanboy personally, but I spend more time on my Xbox than anything, so I don't know where I stand on that. But of course, your noble team wouldn't be anything unless you started out with your own noble 6. So I've always dug the red color. So as soon as I started noticing when I was a kid, of course, all of the color palettes that are designed for Noble Team were meant to be, you could not recreate them in multiplayer accurately. So if you take a look, there's like bits of silver that would be on Carter that you would not be able to apply. Cat, I'm pretty sure you could recreate pretty faithfully. Besides like the white on her chest plate. Emil has black on the upper part of his legs and just in different areas. I think it's like a steel color that we're supposed to have in Halo Reach. And then Jun, of course, he's got like the blue uppers. You may be able to recreate Jun pretty faithfully, but most of these characters, they were not meant to be able to be recreated very easily in multiplayer. So I kind of went for the same design here in the color palette, but when I was a kid, like I said, I always liked red, and then none of the characters have a red color palette, so I figured my Noble 6 was perfect. Red and steel has always been my color palette, so I mean, as far as that goes, I will be going over a couple of different, because I've customized a couple of different Halo Reach figures like this. Oh no, crotch paint is scratching off, but of course, I did try to go with the same look, so it's all black on the Gungeoneer here on the right, and then the silver actually up on the knife, black visor, black mouthpiece, I guess, with some silver etchings here on the knife, the actual headpiece, silver stripe going up the top with the white here, just same black splotches up here with the silver lining the actual inside of the Mark 6, silver on the gauntlets, fingertip, like trigger fingers, just different things that I've tried to add to make it to where you wouldn't be able to recreate it in multiplayer, as well as like a wire that I had connected from, I believe it was a Lego, something, just to make it look more electronic. I ran a wire from this bare hole in the center of their, I don't know, is it their belly button or their waist, and then into his thigh here. Knee pads and plates on the feet are silver. There's different things that I've tried to do to make a pretty good looking Noble 6. Halo Reach was always one of my favorite Halos, if not, I would say, in the list of Halo games, in my opinion, at least the top 3 are going to be Halo 4, don't hate me, ODST, and then Reach. No. Reach, ODST, then 4. Yeah, I would say that in that order, because, I mean, Reach is the first game where you really start to flip. Did ODST? No. Reach came out first. Yeah, Reach was the first game where you get to really start wrapping your head around the rest of the Halo universe, and it's not just Master Chief, Master Chief, Master Chief, Cortana the Flood. There's a whole huge universe with just the human civil war, like the intergalactic civil war that's going on, and then the Covenant leading into that, and all kinds of other things with the Sangheili and the Jirohana and all of the individual storylines that start splitting off. But of course, the original Spartan 2s and 3s and the differences between the two were always my focus, but not just on Master Chief. I was always very interested in seeing the storylines for other Spartans fleshed out. So as soon as I got started to see that, and you get to really start experiencing the deaths along these characters as well, I'd probably say Halo Reach is going to be my favorite Halo, personally. But please don't be afraid to leave your comments below. I am going to be doing a full coverage of my Noble 6 here in the back, as well as just the color palette and different design choices that I've gone for other Spartans. But of course, if you have any tips, tricks, or concerns, questions, anything that I can get help or help you on, don't be afraid to comment down below, like, subscribe, do whatever, all that good jazz. And like I said, I'm trying to make my Instagram more, more of a mainstream thing with you guys. But of course, my channel is super duper small right now. But of course, please stay safe, stay healthy, and you guys have a good day.